Hello everyone, my name is Nada Melissa and welcome back to my channel. On today's topic, we're going to be talking about co-parenting. Why co-parenting? Because 40 to 50% of marriages end up in divorce and you end up in a co-parenting situation. And based on what I have witnessed and experienced myself, I feel it is a super important topic and is probably not talked about enough. And that is why I am dedicating a whole video on co-parenting and why it's super important to have a healthy co-parenting relationship with the person that you decide to have kids with. Before we get really into it, I just want to remind everybody that before anything, you picked that person to have kids with. Some of us more than one. So as you're going through this separation, I need you guys to keep that in mind. You picked this person to make a child with, okay? So the more crap you're talking about them, the more you look bad because you picked them, okay? So keep that in mind. You know, you're over there talking crap about your ex, and it's like, well, damn, like you went and had a baby with him and another baby and it, you know? So keep it in mind. You went half on a baby with that person. So you also look bad. So take it easy. Many times we put our own personal feelings when it comes to everything, everything. And of course, it's going to come with the parenting because now you're thinking, oh, that's part of my kid too, and I want him to be raised a certain way or not a certain way. So you're in this place of, I have to be okay with whatever's going on in that second household because we couldn't figure out our crap and we had to go our separate ways. So now, because we've included someone into this circle or into this mix, now we're going to have to concentrate on this little person and what we can do to make sure that this little person makes it out okay. Okay? Because a lot of times, we're all broken people, and a lot of times relationships don't work because we were unable to work on ourselves and heal whatever it is that was causing that static in our relationships. And that's another video. But here we are. It didn't work out, and now you guys are both going your separate ways, and there's kids involved. So let's talk about it. The last thing you want to do is trying to get the kids on your side, okay? Because again, it's not about you anymore. It's about those kids. And you can either cause or prevent traumas to those little ones. Okay, it's pretty serious. So you really need to make sure that you're out of your head and you're not in your grudgeful mentality. And if you are, keep it to yourself. Like don't contaminate your kids. Like you haven't healed yourself, obviously. If you are still with anger and resentment against your partner, your ex-partner, you haven't healed yet. And so you're over there walking around and living with your kids unhealed, just intoxicating them, just putting venom in them. And it's like, you have no right. You have no right. You chose that person to have a child with. Those little ones have a whole life ahead of them, and you're going to start them off on a very bad foot if you're already intoxicating them with bad things about the person that is half of them. So, be mindful of what you're saying. Be mindful of what you're thinking, because at the end of the day, it is not about you. It is about them. You want them to be in a safe place, a healthy place. The more you argue with your ex-partner, the more you mess their moods up. And if the kids are with them at that moment, like you're giving your kids a hard time as well. So keep the peace, be reasonable, and most importantly, think about the kids before you think about your own feelings and emotions and beliefs and how you were brought up. Because now there's two people making decisions because you decided that. So take a second to think about what you're thinking and really make sure that you're thinking about the kids and their health and their safety and their happiness. There are names to the things that we do. And I say we because I have done it in the past. Not a lot, because I was always trying my hardest to make sure I was doing whatever for the kids. It was all about the kids. I would always say, well, it's whatever's best for the child, you know, because that's what it's about. And so there's terms that are out there that describe pretty much what you're probably doing, like parent alienation. Um, and I'm going to pull up a website because I want to read it straight out from a website where, you know, maybe you feel better about it coming from a more educated person, because I'm only speaking from experiences, my own experiences, and from witnessing others. So I have the right to share my story. And of course, I will not be using any names. So lucky you. I'm just gonna share what I witnessed and what I've learned, because we forget. We get so caught up in our own anger that we forget that there's kids involved. Yeah, and because we have our traumas, like we got to be better and like fix our traumas before we go and implement traumas on our own children. So parent alienation is the act of one parent attempting to turn the child or children against the child's other parent through manipulation, criticism, or other negative behaviors without reasonable justification. The set of strategies used includes denying the child access, criticizing, encouraging disrespect, or forcing the child to cut ties with the other parent. An indoctrinated and controlled child feels unwarranted fear, hatred, and rejection toward the targeted parent and refuses to contact with contact with them. This type of behavior is regarded as a form of child abuse. Children impacted by this psychological abuse are said to have parental alienation syndrome, PAS, a term coined by American psychiatrist Richard Gardner. In a high conflict separation, a child is often dragged along custody litigation and made to publicly denounce the rejected parent with accusations of abuse or abandonment, which causes them great distress. Alienating parents frequently engage in the following harmful parenting practices. So, this is where if something hits, don't get offended. Don't be shocked. If you love your kids, this is where you're going to say, holy shit, my bad. I need to stop. Like, I don't need to cause trauma to my children. Okay. So don't get all, how dare you? No, man. Like, this is where we work on ourselves. If you're here watching my videos, it's because you're doing some self work. And I already told you, if you've been watching my videos, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be easy. But we're all starting to learn about all this. So we're all watching you guys. And when you do certain things, people are going to see it. And not to mention your kids, okay? You may think that you have all the right reasons right now. Make sure you really do have all the right reasons, because those kids are going to grow up and they're going to rewatch what you did. And you're going to get hit with karma on top of karma. And now you're going to deal with the kids that are going to be grown up and hopefully more spiritually awakened than you are. And they're going to see your dirt and they're going to call you out on it and see you for what you are. So you love your kids, pay attention, and don't be naive, and don't be on a high horse right now. It's time to change. It's time to make a difference in your kids. It's time to change generational curses, generational traumas. It's time to change generational traumas, okay? It's time to change it. So, general bad mouthing, number 1. Number 2, making the target parent appear dangerous or sick. Sharing the child custody case or child support issues with the child. 3. Number 4, accusing the targeted parent of not loving the child. You're telling your little baby, your little kid, that their parent doesn't love them. Man, if you're doing that, shame on you. Check yourself. 5, defaming the targeted parent in front of the authorities. 6, restricting visitations or withholding contact information. What, because you don't like mom or dad? You want the person that's half of them not to like them too? You're so grown up. You're so grown up. No, no, no. Sit down. We're not done. Number 7, sharing parental conflict and marriage issues with the child. What business is it to your kids what's going on between you two? None. None. Again, that's just your way of trying to get the kid to see your side because you're the victim and you need people on your side, right? Selfish. Wake up. You're fucking up your generations. Like, when are you going to fix it? That's what I'm saying. Like, this is why I'm here making these videos, because I'm tired of seeing it. It's gross. It's really gross. Number 8, making negative remarks about the targeted parent's extended or new family. Oh, your dad loves his new baby more. Oh, does he get you that too, or did he only buy it for his new baby? What are you doing? What are you planting in their little innocent brains? Be mindful of what you're saying, man. Like, you're being petty, you're being gross, you're being toxic, and your little toxic behavior is going to cause trauma and emotional abuse in your child, that you created with that person, and it's half of that person. Okay. 9, intercepting calls and messages from the targeted parent. 10, hiding the child or moving away. I hear about this so much. I used to work at the courthouse, so I'm not just speaking from like third view or like third party or my own experiences. I'm speaking from all of it. I see it so much from both parties, from moms and from dads. So nobody is innocent. We're all guilty. So seriously, take the time to research and make sure that you're being a good parent. Okay? And if you're going through any legal issues and you're the person paying thousands and thousands of dollars to take away the children away from a person, of the parent, that there is no real reason to take them away, can you imagine? Can you imagine your karma for paying so much money to traumatize your children and to alienate them from their parent? Can you imagine your karma? Yeah. Be careful, man. Be careful. Be careful. It's so crucial that you're being smart about what you're doing, why you're doing it. And another thing that I would like for you guys to keep in mind, I've been separated. I'm divorced, and I've been happy. And in my happy state, I couldn't imagine like being hateful and mean to my children's father. Like, I'm happy right now. I'm so happy. I want you to be happy too, man. Like, how do we work this out? Like, how do we work together to where we're like, we're happy, we're coexisting for the sake of this kid, man. Like, why? Because I'm happy as hell. And so if you're truly happy, what's the reason to cause issues and drama and chaos? So you kind of look bad too. Like, if you're causing problems and you're just being hateful and nasty with your child's parent, it's like, are you not happy? Are you not happy? Because last time I felt happy, I wanted happiness for everybody. I wanted everyone to be happy. Why? Because it feels so good to be happy. It feels so good to feel like you're doing the right thing. You're being a good parent. You have good energy on you. It feels good to be happy. So, I mean, I don't know if you've experienced happiness or not, but when you do experience happiness, you can tell. You can tell. And you can see the difference. Like, when you see someone's like, oh, that's a happy bitch. That's a happy bitch. And when you see someone, it's like, oh, what's wrong? Especially if they're like, rah, 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 always just hateful and nasty energy. It's like, bro, aren't you happy? Aren't you happy? I can't tell. I can't tell. So be careful how you're portraying yourself, especially when you're going through your separation, okay? Because again, our kids are watching us. They're watching us. So just like if you're the parent that took the other parent to court and paid thousands of dollars to try to take away the parent and make the kids hate the parent, just like you're at fault for going above and beyond to traumatize your kids, the kids are also going to watch, how did the other parent respond? How did you counter fight or counter, you know what I mean? Like, how did you do it? Did you do it better? Did you do it the right way? Did you do it with love, with forgiveness? Because that's what you want to teach your kids. Like, did you still come in like, hey, we're all human. We mess up sometimes. At the end of the day, those are still the same kids in this battle. And they've already went through one battle. So I see it for what it is, and I'm not putting my kids through another battle. So if you want to continue to be stupid, I'm not. Because I see what happened round one. So I'm not doing round 2 and 3 and 4. Like, no, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. And the kids are watching how you did it. And so if you're the parent that's getting your kids taken away and there's no legit reason for you to be in this situation, I encourage you to just stay calm, stay positive, and stay kind of quiet, because the truth will come out. It always does. And I know it's super upsetting to be put in this situation where you cannot see your kids as much, or things are being said about you that are completely false, and you want to correct that narrative, and you want your kids back. I encourage you that if that other parent is going hard and paying thousands of dollars for lawyers to do it and you don't have it, just stay calm and pray, and if there's no evidence of what's being said about you, then just know that you know the truth. You know the truth, and just try to just be as patient and as calm. Unfortunately, the justice system is not gonna protect you as much as I thought it was. I really thought that there was no way a parent can ever just make a phone call and say something's happened in my child's other parent's home and I'm concerned, and you go to war with that little information that's not even true, and you can really miss out years out of your kids' lives because of that one phone call that's not even real. So it's scary. It's been scary to witness like certain things go down in the legal system. I thought parents were protected a lot more. And so it's scary. It really is scary that you really got to like have your evidence and take screenshots, because man, people are petty out there and they're going to do and say things about you that are not true. And unfortunately, the justice system kind of goes with whoever's paying the big bucks, I guess, sometimes, or for a while. But at the end of it, if everything was false, you're going to be okay. It's just going to be a long process, and you're going to have to restart your relationship with your children. And that's very unfortunate. And this is why I'm here trying to prevent it from continuing to happen, because the justice system isn't going to just be like, hey, you don't have legit reasons. There's no proof. There's no, like, nothing has been confirmed to be true. So therefore, we're going to cut this right now and then go ahead and give back visitations to the other parent until you give me legit evidence. Because right now you look petty and toxic. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And that's why I'm here. Okay. So, if you're going through legal issues, I am so sorry that you're having to go through that, especially if you're innocent. I'm so sorry. And you don't deserve that. And the kids don't deserve that. They don't deserve that, you know, but it's unfortunate. And just keep all your evidence, keep dates, keep notes of everything that happens, write it all down. You will need it. Write everything down. Everything that happens, write it down. And just cover your ass, like always. All right, well, going back, it's just going back to the co-parenting basics of just removing yourself from it and really putting the child's best interests in the concern, or in the the main, you know what I mean. But like I said, a lot of times we're selfish, or a lot of times we try and make big issues out of nothing. And it's like, who are you kidding? Like, come on, let's just be adults. Let's be mature. If something's happening in the other household that you don't truly completely believe in it, you don't believe in it, that's fine. Unfortunately, there's two homes now that you're gonna have to try to compromise with or meet in the middle. So, um, like, just working together doesn't have to be such a pain in the ass, you know? Like, if you can help, help. If you can't, no. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to help the other parent do something. You don't, but help each other out, because there's gonna be times where you wish they would be more helpful, and you wish they would just be like, yeah, sure, whatever, whatever. Yeah, I'll pick them up from school. Yeah, I'll drop them off. Like, yeah, I can do it. If you can't do it, that's a different thing. But if you can do it and you just want to be petty, like, I'm not helping you. That's your job. You're a parent. You're only there on the weekends or whatever. Like, it's that you're putting it about you. This is not about you. It's about the kid. If the kid wants to see dad or mom for a little bit, like, help get that happening, because it's healthy for them. It's healthy for them. And you don't want to tell your kids that you chose a wrong partner, a wrong dad, and a part of them is not good because of how much they hear you talking about their parent. Like, I think we forget that too. Like, that's half of them. So everything you're saying about mom or dad, like, what do you think they're hearing? Like, so you don't like part of me because I look like my dad, or I look like my mom, or I act like my mom, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you telling your kids, And that's what's so unfortunate about parents that are just very caught up in their lives and work and whatever you're doing. Like, you don't make time to, like, really go deep inside yourself and say, hey, am I a good parent? Am I really doing the best for my kids? And many times we're doing things we don't even realize we're doing until someone points it out. The right someone. Because we don't take advice from just anybody. It has to be someone that we respect and love to be like, oh, you think that about me? Damn, I need to look and see where did I miss that? So, however it is that you see it, you hear it. If you love your kids, if you really love your kids, you're gonna look and try to fix it and be better, because that's all you can do is just be better. You can't change certain situations, so don't make it worse for your kids. Make it better. I wanted to add another note that I felt was super duper important, because again, I've seen it a lot, especially like on TikTok. I've seen videos that break my heart. If you are the absent parent and you've been gone for months and you want to come back and you happen to have visitations and the rights or whatever, don't come in and force yourself back into their lives and take them for the whole weekend if they haven't seen you for months. Again, this is taking their little brains, their little hearts, their little emotional state into consideration. Like, if, especially if they're little, if they're under 5, I think it's super crucial that you're careful how you do that. Don't just come in barging like, I'm ready to take my kids. No, like, let's be careful. Take it easy, man. Again, these are little humans that are part of you and part of them. And these are little humans, and their little brains are so sensitive, their hearts are sensitive. And everything that we're doing right now is it's what's gonna form this little human and this little adult later on. So the more chaos we cause in their childhood, the more chaotic their adulthood is gonna be. And if you're like Hispanic parents, I'm just kidding. If you're the type of parent that's like, once you're 18, you're out, well, then you definitely want to make sure you give them good brains, like a good, healthy, emotional state, so that they can, go out there and be successful and not have all these issues or disorders or, mental illnesses that were caused by the chaos. So be mindful of that as well. Don't just come in barging and try and take them for the whole weekend or a whole month or whatever. Like, if you've been gone for a while, it doesn't make you a bad guy or a bad girl. It's just come in and take it as the child can do it. Like, pay attention to them, ask them, talk to them. Like, we really have to pay attention to their feelings so they feel validated, because that's another thing that's going to cause problems in the future if we don't hear them and validate their feelings before we try to rush to rescue or rush to respond. My son calls his stepmom mom. And when he talked to me about it, I was totally okay with it. Why would I not be okay with it? That's only going to express like any insecurities I have of myself as a mother. Like if I know I love the crap out of my kid and I know like I do the best I can for my kid, then he can call 10 other women mom. Doesn't bother me. No, that's cool. That's cool that my son sees this other woman in a way where he can say mom. Like how many kids can call any woman just mom? Like it takes work for you to earn that title. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does, and I don't mind that. And so when he talked to me about it, I was like, yeah, for sure. I don't That's cool. Because again, is it about me? Like I'm your mother, but just know that's another thing. To be okay with it, but then have to make the comment, but just know I'm the number one mom. Like, no, you don't have to say that. Unless you have some insecurities going on in there, ma'am. There's no need to say that to your little child. Like, oh, I'm the better mom. Like, really? Petty. No. We're both women, we're both mothers, and if we both are good mothers, we both understand the importance of loving a child the best to our abilities and not to make them feel any kind of other way or unwanted, unloved. And so as a mother, I want my son to feel just as part as his other family at the other house as he does in this house. So if everyone's calling mom mom over there, and I'm like, you can't call her mom, you call her by her name, and he's the only kid over there calling her by her name, like how's that making him feel? Like, are you not thinking about that? Are you so concerned about your title that you're gonna make your child do something different so they can feel left out or different? Or like it's already one thing on top of another on top of another. Like you just keep on adding to their traumas and their feeling of not feeling enough, not feeling heard, not feeling wanted. Like, don't be the reason your child is feeling those things, period. It's not hard. It's not hard. So, yeah, I was like, yeah, you know what? And if you want to call me mama, because I like mama, call me mama. And in Spanish is mama too, or ama. But he still calls me mom. And do I get offended that he's calling us both mom? No, no. Because I know how much I love that kid. I know how much I will do for him. I know what I've done. I know what I will do. And I am pretty secure and safe in my heart knowing that I'm his mom and nobody else can take that away. If anything, cool. I'm so happy that there's another woman, cool woman that's like mom figure, good example, cool. Like you got, sometimes we get again so caught in our feelings and you find yourself talking crap about your ex-partner's partner. And it's like your kids are watching you. They're listening to you. What are you teaching them? That to be petty in life, to not move on in life, to not love yourself enough to like be happy for others in life? Like no. And then you're causing issues in that house like by putting things in their heads. They go into the other house like my mom says that you don't do enough for me. And that she's always going to be the number one mom. Like what are you doing? That's not That's not mature. That's not motherly. So catch yourself and stop yourself. You can stop it. You can correct it. Like it's not easy to be like, you know what, son or daughter, like I was wrong and I need you to I'm begging for forgiveness because at this point like I realize that I really affected you and I was not trying to do that, mom was just being selfish and I was mad and I was hurt, but I'm better now. I'm happy and I want you to be happy and I want everyone to be happy because I'm happy. Makes sense, right? Yeah. So be careful how you talk about your partner's new partner, how you treat your partner's new partner. Because whether you like it or not, they are now in your kid's life. And the better you treat them, the better they're going to treat your kids, because they're going to have respect for you. When they don't have respect for you, they're going to be like, ugh, a part of them is in there, and because you're your mother's son. Bah, don't do that. It's not cool. It's not cool. Respect your partner's partner, ex-partner's partner, because now they have hands on your kids. Not like that, but like, you want harmony for your child. That's the end result. Like, you want harmony. You couldn't give it to them, so you want to make sure they get it wherever they are. And that's just it. Okay? And like I said, you're not always going to agree with each other's beliefs or bedtimes or vocabulary or religion, and you're gonna have to try to stay neutral until the child is old enough to say, like, hey, hun, like, do you want to go to church? It's like, no, I don't feel like going to church. All right, cool. And especially if the other parent doesn't believe in like going to church, it's like, I'm not gonna force it on them, because at the end of the day too, like, you want your child to have their own mindset, their own, I mean, just give them good guidelines, but don't force things on them. If they're not feeling it, then it's just not part of their journey. Just because we grew up with the beliefs that our parents had and it was implemented on us, and we really won't look at what we really believe in until we go through a spiritual awakening, which a lot of us don't. I'm hopeful that it's, people start realizing, like, oh crap, that's not my belief. That was what I was raised with. Because if we were raised in a different country and with a different religion, like, we would have been that. So it's because we were here, not because that's who we are. So once we start learning that about ourselves, then we'll stop stressing our kids with our beliefs and, like, putting it on them like it's the testament straight from God. It's like, no, we've evolved. There's information out there. There's a lot of information out there. Educate yourself. Please educate yourself, because we're just causing all kinds of traumas to our kids, and it's just so ignorant, because you could have changed it, you could have stopped it, you could have fixed it, but you're so caught up in your own trauma, in your own pain, in your own anger. Like, that's your shit, not your kids. That's your own issues that you need to resolve. Don't be putting that on your kids. Like, I just can't understand that. I'll never understand that. Like, looking at your little kid, because I've had a lot of situations where I've had to tell my daughter, if anything, I'm telling my daughter, like, hey, finding reasons why maybe, things couldn't happen, or like, oh, it's okay, maybe something happened, or like, I just couldn't see myself, like, your dad didn't call you for your birthday because he doesn't love you, or he's too busy with his new girlfriend, or he's too busy partying because your birthday's on New Year's Day, so, like, he parties he parties hard. Like, no, that's my little baby. That's my little girl. The last thing I'm going to tell my little girl, that her dad didn't love her enough to call her. Like, if anything, I'm going to be texting and calling him, like, hey, don't forget to call her. Hey, call me at this number. I'm available. Call me whenever you can. Like, I'm going to be here. Like, if anything, if he's not calling by a certain time, I'm going to call him. Because it's not about me. It's about my little girl. It's about her heart, her brain, her emotional health. It's about her future. The more daddy issues I cause on my child, the more issues she's going to have as an adult. And then when she realizes what I did to her, whoo, I better be ready for it. I better have the guts to sit there and take it, because I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. Because once these kids start healing and seeing, like, all these toxic traits that we from my generation didn't fix, they're gonna come for us hard. So that's why I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna come back and fix it. I'm gonna be better. And I am. And I don't care how stupid I look, how stupid I sound. I'm gonna talk until I'm tired of talking, because I'm tired of seeing this. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's enough. Enough is enough. Like, how many daddy issue women are we gonna have out there, or kids? Like, we can change that, and it's time we do. And if we don't change it, like I said, our kids are going to change it, and you're going to hear about it. So, um, I just want to bring up too that when you have these behaviors, there's now a syndrome for you. It's called malicious parent syndrome, MPS. It's a type of vengeful behavior exhibited by some divorcing or separated parents. So MPS is a real thing, people, and it's happening too much. So take a look at yourself. Take a look at how you're talking to your co-parent, how you're treating them, how you're talking about them in front of your kids. Be mindful. Don't be sneaky and play stupid. Like, oh, I didn't know they were in the room. You know when they're in the room, you know you want them to hear certain things. And that's just toxic. That's just toxic. So be careful with your little kids' brains and their hearts. Okay? They're watching you, they're hearing you, they see how you respect or disrespect your partner, your ex-partner. So don't do that, because in everything that you're doing is manipulating them into believing something else about their parent, and that's half of them that you're trying to convince them is not good. So keep that in mind. Be nice. Be nice, because at the end of the day, we were probably kids when we had these kids. I know I was. I was a kid. I wish I had the brains I have now when I had my first kid. I think she would have been so much more well off if I would have been better off with this mentality. And so that's why I'm here. I'm sharing, I'm talking, and I want you guys to really be honest with yourselves and stop lying, because if you don't want to accept it now, you're going to have to accept it later. And even if you don't accept it later, you're not going to have kids around. They're not going to want to see you, because that's another thing. You don't want to validate their feelings. That you don't want to validate their perspective, how they saw it, what they saw going down as kids. If you don't want to validate that, they're going to just bye ma. So change, work on yourself, and be better. Okay? I am going to be making these videos in Spanish. It's just that I get so overwhelmed with like emotion and thoughts and information that goes through my head about certain topics, especially like this, that I just got to get on here and talk until I'm tired of talking. So Spanish is coming. I will be yelling at you in El Español, and then French too, and sign language. So just kidding. But yeah. I've been a little bit all over the place, and at this point, I really don't care where I left off. I really feel like I said most of what I wanted to say. If you have any questions, or if you have any questions about like legal advice, I'm not a paralegal or a lawyer or anything like that. But if you're just like desperate and you just don't know what to do and you don't know where to turn and you just want to talk to somebody that's seen certain things go down that might be able to give you some input or just some peace of mind, reach out to me. Like, I will do that, because I've seen how devastating it is for a parent to go through that. And it sucks. No one deserves to go through that, because like I said, we were all kids when we had these kids. We were learning. We're still trying to learn. And if you're really trying to be a better person, then you understand that, we can change. We can be better. And everyone deserves forgiveness. Everyone deserves another chance, unless your child is in serious danger. Like, there's no reason for you to be keeping them away from their parent. Absolutely not. Okay. So yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, if you're like just like devastated, desperate, call me. I mean, reach out to me. I will be there for you. I tend to be pretty good at that when people need a hand or an ear. But yeah. All right, that's it for now. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'm trying to, live through my passion, and this is it. So it helps me out. And don't forget to visit the store. I will be posting some pictures of the t-shirts. I got 2 of the t-shirts in, and they're actually pretty freaking cool. So I'm super excited to print out my before picture and put it on my t-shirt. I'll be showing you guys a t-shirt. So again, don't forget to subscribe and visit my t-shirt store, Everest. It would mean so much to me. That's it for now. We'll talk soon. Bye.